We begin with verse 81 today. Om tapaswadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidamvaram naradam paripapracha Valmikir Munipungavam Konvasmin Sampratam Loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavan Dharmagnyascha Kritaknyascha Satyavakyo Dridhavrataha Charitrena Chako Yuktaha Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha Vidwan Kakkasamarthascha Kaschaika Priyadarshanaha. Verse 81. Te nagatva purim lankam hatva ravana mahave.
Te nagatva purim lankam hatva ravana mahave.
Rama Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamate.
Rama Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamate.
Tamuvacha tato Ramaha Parusham Jana Samsadi.
Tamuvacha tato Ramaha Parusham Jana Samsadi.
Amrishyamana sa Sita Viveshajwalanam sati.
Amrishyamana sa Sita Viveshajwalanam sati.
So here Ravana being killed, the immediate step was to get Sita out of Ashoka Vanam. We saw in the last session, Hanumanji is sent to go and inform Sita Devi that the war has been won and that, and find out what she wishes to do. What she wishes to do. Well, Hanumanji went and having given the message of the victory of Lord Rama over Ravana, Sita Devi, so overwhelmed and happy she was, really she choked with tears out of joy. And a message was asked, what is it you want me to convey to Sri Rama? And she says, as soon as possible, I wish to meet my husband. This message is brought back to Sri Rama, and we saw when Hanumanji tells the message, he becomes thoughtful. He has tears in his eyes. He is about to take a step which is really very is going to shake up everything that he has stood for. And so he tells Vibhishana, being the next in charge of Lanka, well, bring Sita after she has bathed and ornamented, anointed with jewelry. Ma Chiram, bring her quickly to me. Vibhishana went, informed her, and she wanted to just go as she is, as she has been. Why would she want to anoint herself after all that she's been through for 1 year? But then when she shows her displeasure, Vibhishana insists for her to follow the instructions. And she does, and dressed up, she's carried in a palanquin and taken to Sri Rama's presence. And it is only protocol then that all the other people whoever else is there, and mainly what you have there is the Rakshasas and the Vanaras. And so the Rakshasas begin to shoo away the Vanaras, asking them to leave the premises, the area, so that they could meet. And Sri Rama prevents that. Annoyed that they are shooing the Vanaras away who have helped him win the war, he prevents it and says, all of them will be here and watch. And any woman, there is nothing no reason why they cannot see Sita Devi. And a woman's character, it cannot be protected by a mere home or mere clothes or mere royal lineage, or none of this really, or a yajna or a fire ritual. None of this really protects her. What protects her is her character. That alone is her shield. And in any of these times, she can show up in public, and it is okay. So let her come. Let her get down the palanquin and walk, and let everyone see her. Well, she does. She is made to step out. She comes towards Sri Rama, and you remember how happy, how bashful and joyously she stood there before him. And Sri Rama, well, before anything else, he declares to her that, may you know that all these efforts that were taken was not undertaken for your sake, it was undertaken to remove the stigma of my good conduct and my family. No one tomorrow should say that I, as your husband, did not protect you, as a king did not protect you, and therefore, well, today a suspicion has arisen with respect to your character. Why? Because you have lived in the home of a demon for 1 year. And so you stand before me all dressed and not shy about the whole thing. And so I am, this is not agreeable to me. You can go 10 directions of the world are wide open. You can go wherever you wish. My purpose to retrieve you from this demon has been served. The war is over, he is gone. And who can take a woman who has gone to another's house? She may have been good before, but the fact she lived in someone else's house, why would any man accept her again? And when she was squeezed into the arms of Ravana, and who saw you as nothing but to fulfill his lust, and this, you can choose wherever you wish to go. And with this, Sita Devi hears this, and it's the last thing she can hear. She has no tolerance for anything like this. She has waited for a whole year protecting herself from this demon, just for this day, for this moment where she would return to her husband. And when he says what he did, it was absolutely shattering to her. And she begins to address Sri Rama, and she tells him, why do you talk to me like a common man would speak to a common woman? She says, your words are so jarring. You do not understand me. She says, you have judged me based on how vulgar women behave. You distrust the entire womanhood, which is very unreasonable. I swear to you by my character, really it is not what you think. Even when I came into contact with Ravana, I was helpless. It was not out of my will that he touched me. I was helpless. She declares it is her fate that is to be blamed, that was not in her control. But she says, yes, there was one thing in my control, and that was my heart. Madadhinam me hridayam tvayi vartate. What was in my control was my heart, and my heart was always surrendered to you. What was not in my control was my fate, and my fate played what it did, and that was not out of my will, my control. My heart ever abides in you, and if after being together so many years, if you don't understand me, where I am coming from, then I am done for good. And she tells him, you have wasted your time and risked your life and risked the life of so many of them. Why did you do that? Why did you not send this message through Hanumanji when he came to see me? It would have made it so much easier than losing so many more lives. You are given to anger. And she says, you only see a woman as a piece of flesh, is what has made you conclude this about me. You forget that I have a divine origin. You forget that I have divinity in me. You have not taken this into account. You have not taken into account my purity, my devotion to you. And so I am done. She turns to Lakshmana and tells Lakshmana, raise for me a pyre. That is my only antidote. I no longer wish to live with all these false allegations on me. I will enter fire as I have been renounced in public by my husband, and he is displeased by my character. I have no reason to live. Lakshmana looks at Sri Rama. He would say something, he would stop, he would do things differently. But Sri Rama remains silent. Remaining silent without a word, it was obvious that he wasn't going to stop. Well, she does pradakshina to Sri Rama and she prays to Agni Devata. She tells Agni Devata, Yatha me hridayam nityam na apasarpati raghavat tatha lokasya sakshi mam sarvataha patu pavakaha. Very beautiful. I get horripilation when I recite this prayer. She says that if it is true that my heart has never swerved or slipped away from Sri Rama, if it is true, then, O witness of this creation, you are the first witness of this earth, then protect me, O God of fire. And she says, if I have been of pure conduct, Sri Rama takes me to be corrupt. But if I have been of pure conduct, protect me, O Lord Fire. As much as it is true that I have never been unfaithful to my husband in either thought or word or deed, that I have lived in penance and tapas, loyal to my husband, if this is true, then protect me, O God of fire. And having said this, really all the celestials arrive. The Surya Deva, Vayu Deva, Dik Devatas, Chandraha, Aha Devatas, Sandhya, Ratri, Prithvi, all the powers of the universe arrive and they tell him, how could you ignore this? How can you ignore this? Kubera comes, they all come, they look at Sri Rama. In the meanwhile, Sita Devi jumps into the pyre. She drops her body into the pyre. All the devatas come and say, do you not know who you are? How could you allow this? And Sri Rama says, I am a human being from the Raghu dynasty. Brahmaji says, no. You are Lord Narayana. You are the law. You are the law of the universe. You are the Veda. She is Mahalakshmi. How could you do this to her? And it is then Lord of Fire taking Sita Devi in his own arms. He brings her out. He rises from the fire and restores her back to Lord Rama. And he tells Lord Rama, Esha te Rama Vaidehi Papam asyam na vidyate. She belongs to you, O Rama. She is yours. She has no trace of any sin in her, whether it be thought, word or deed. She has been never unfaithful to you. She was taken away by Ravana being helpless. In spite of that, she ever remained focused on you as her resort. Never thought of Ravana even though he tempted her in so many ways. Therefore I command you, do not be harsh with Vaidehi. She is a goddess. Do not be harsh with her. Sri Rama was craving for this moment joyfully. He calls her, he tells her, Sita, I had never had any doubt about you. This was a purificatory ritual that had to be done before the people. You had lived with a demon in a demon's home for so long. That had to be cleansed out. A different experience had to be shown to all. And therefore the world would talk about the king. Tomorrow I will be in Ayodhya. They would say, I was so lustful, I was so foolish that I allowed a woman who lived with somebody else. I took her back. And this world is like that. They would talk like that. This had to be proved to the world, not to me. If I had accepted her without she herself showing her chastity, her purity, her tapas, her penance, she had to radiate her penance in front of everyone. And that's how the world would accept her as a queen. I know Sita Devi to be undivided in her affection towards me. He declares, I had never any doubt. Ravana could never violate her, not because of any reason other than Sita Devi's own tapas. She is inseparable from me. She is non-different from me. Like the sunlight is non-separate from the sun, Sita Devi is my part of me. She is my anga. And therefore, I have never ever had any doubt about her. Sri Rama, so happy that she comes back to him. And it is said at that point, from Indraloka comes the form of Raja Dasharatha. Raja Dasharatha comes and tells, "Hey Rama, I am so pleased with you. 14 years are over. The enemies have been killed. Return home. The pledge has been fulfilled. Take the throne, live a long life." Sri Rama tells his father Dasharatha, these are all pending jobs, okay? The last files which were left not closed. Sri Rama tells Dasharatha, "Please be gracious to Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi, be gracious to Kaikeyi and Bharata. You had declared, you had cursed them that I disown you and your son. Take that curse back. You cannot do that to them." And Dasharatha turns to Lakshmana, turns to Sita Devi, tells Sita Devi, "Please do not be angry with Sri Rama for what he did now. All of you go back to Ayodhya and fulfill and take the throne."